Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
For the past few decades, Nintendo has been the game changers and pioneers of the video game market. In fact, Nintendo did so well with their handheld market that it sold over a total of 400 million unit sales. So how far has Nintendo gone so far with their handheld consoles, and how did it all start? I'm Joe, and this is Keychain Access. Nintendo's first handheld back in 1980 was the Game & Watch series. The Game & Watch was the first portable LCD video game with a microprocessor. Each system played its own game with a cost of $20 each, and there were a total of 60 games made for the series. And one of the characters from the series even got to feature in Super Smash Bros. The systems were very popular at the time, with over 43.4 million units sold. Then, the legendary Game Boy came around April 21st, 1989. The Game Boy was an 8-bit handheld with a green pixelated screen. There were about 5 different models made for the system, including the Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color had its own system, but it was actually one of the cheapest systems ever, costing only $70, while the Game Boy Classic costed $90. There were 733 games made for the system, including Tetris and Pokemon Red and Blue. The Game Boy was a huge success, with over 118.69 million units sold. On March 21st, 2001, the Game Boy Advance was released to the market. It was a 32-bit console able to produce great pixelated color, and it had its own backwards compatibility with the Game Boy. There were 2 similar models for it, and the Game Boy Advance had cost about $150. It had a total of 1,075 games made for the system, with the best-selling Pokemon Ruby and Emerald. The Game Boy Advance was also a success, selling over 81.51 million units worldwide. Then on November 21st, 2004, a handheld was released that became a huge revolution in gaming, the Nintendo DS. It was a dual screen similar to the Game & Watch, with a touchscreen and with a retail price of $150. It also had the backwards compatibility for the Game Boy. There were about 3 other models for the system, including the DSi. This handheld has a capability to play fully 3D games, and had a total of 1,862 games for the system, with New Super Mario Bros. As its best seller. The Nintendo DS was the best-selling handheld ever, with over 152 million units sold. And finally, on February 26, 2011, the Nintendo 3DS was released. It was the first system to have a 3D feature on the system, with no 3D glasses needed. The great thing about the system is that it has a much better graphic and hardware capability than the Nintendo DS. And so far, there are over 1,100 games made for the system, and it can still play DS games. It had a retail price of about $150, but the 2DS is the cheapest, costing only $80. And so far, the system sold over 66.12 million units. And today, we're excited to see Nintendo's 5th model of the 3DS, the Nintendo 2DS XL. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to find my latest videos. Be sure to leave a suggestion, and all the resources will be provided in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.